today. Had some technical issues, but I want to make sure this is live. Some people do some pre-recorded ones. I want to make sure it's live so I can answer any questions about logos, logo design, and what makes a logo great. I'm going to give everyone a few minutes to join us, get on, let Facebook build an audience. I'm going to be doing some information on what I'm learning through doing these videos, what's working and what's not, best practices later on. So make sure to be paying attention to. Facebook Live is a great format. We're getting some great engagement on some of these Facebook Lives. But today we're going to talk about how to make a great logo. You know, I have been involved in a lot of logos, and you might be like wondering, like, why is a video marketing dude telling me about logos? That's a good question. Well, first of all, I mean, I've been involved in a lot of logos, and yes, I did call myself a dude. I did. I'm a dude, and I'm a video marketing dude. I spend a lot of time doing video marketing, but marketing includes logo design. A lot of people come to us logo design. We've built logos. I mean, designed logos at Authentic Web. Being a marketing consultant, obviously I've been involved in it. And to be honest with you, they're very frustrating to me because people don't understand what makes a great logo. They really don't. And I've purchased many logos. Throughout the years, I've been involved in a lot of businesses, and I've made all the mistakes in purchasing logos. I've made a lot of bad logos. Not necessarily bad, but spent a lot of time doing the wrong things. And what's bad about marketing, when you do the wrong things and you spend way too much time in marketing, headed down the wrong path, what you say, you don't think that you did something wrong. You think marketing doesn't work. I did that too for a long time. I thought, hey, my marketing is not working. My logo's not working. No one's remembering my business. No one knows what my logo looks like. But after a while, it took me a little while to realize it. And I did have some help. More important, I have an expert. I live with an expert in logo marketing. Well, logo design, actually just design. Design. You know, my wife, Jessica Garlick, she is an awesome designer. She has a lot of experience in design. You can see here, she has a master's in 3D design animation from NYU. She's done production design for Nickelodeon, animation for Wonder Pets, for those of you guys with kids know it. A quick funny story about Wonder Pets that she hates me to tell is I will tell later if you ask. If anyone's actually listening to this and asks me, I will put it in the comments. But Jessica's also done animation for Disney, and she's run a graphic design shop. And besides working on Authentic Web, she also teaches design and web development at Full Sail University. So she's got some good background, and it's great to have that resource. When we talk about design, we talk about design issues all the time. And, you know, we see a lot of design coming through Authentic Web. We do logos for certain clients. We're in some process of building some logos out. But I've seen a lot of logos designed, and I've seen a lot of mistakes made, not only from our standpoint, but mainly from how a client views it, no matter how much I tell them that this is what makes a logo great. So let's talk about what makes a logo great. But before we do that, let's talk about why do you need a great logo? You know, why do you want to spend time? Why do you want to spend $5,000, $10,000, $20,000 on a logo? Why do you want to spend this time thinking about logos, thinking about what's important, what's not in a logo? Why are you watching this video? I mean, logos can do a lot for you, right? But why do we want a great logo? We want to stand out from the competition, right? We want to stand out. We want people to know who we are. We want people to remember us. You know, being remembered is important as a business. You want someone to remember your business, and you want them to remember your logo. And they say, oh, that's great. You want to build a brand with a logo. Logos can help you build a brand. And I know a lot of people talk about branding for small business, and it is important, but it's, once again, how you think about it. So I don't like that word branding. We'll talk about it a little bit. But really building a brand is one of the reasons you want a great logo. Um, and you want to trigger emotion. Triggering emotion, that's when we say, people come to me and it's, I've heard a lot of silly things. They're like, oh, I want my logo to say strength. And I want my logo to say, I want my logo to sizzle. I want people to say my logo and say, that means security. We want it to trigger emotion. And logos can trigger emotion. So how do we get to do these things? Well, let's look at some of the great logos. Let's take and look at some of the examples, some of the greatest logos in the world. You've got Disney. I mean, I live in Orlando, or we're based in Orlando. We are in the shadow of the mouse. And this is probably one of the most recognized logos in the world. And it's definitely one of the greatest. Why? I mean, it's just 3 circles, right? Just 3 circles. And in fact, if you go down I-4, our main highway, and you're on your way to Disney, you will see what's really cool. They have a tower, power tower that is in this shape. It's pretty neat. I should have put a picture in here, but I didn't. But anyways, we also have this one, the Olympic rings. Boom, you know what it means. You remember that. It triggers emotion. It stands out from any other event, right? The Olympics every 40 years. Boom, it's a huge, huge billions and billions of dollars come into it. Controversy all around it. And then there's this one. I mean, instantly, you have emotion tied to this, whether it's positive or negative. Everyone in the world knows what this means. So why are these logos great? Why are these logos great, and why are they great to you? I want you to think for a second. Close your eyes, unless you're driving, which you probably shouldn't be driving because you shouldn't be watching these videos when you're driving, unless you're pulled off on the side of the road, because this is important. I hope you're pulled off on the side of the road because you knew I was live, and you're like, I need to watch this because Ian is so smart. Just kidding. But why are these logos great to you? Don't worry about anyone else right now. Why are these logos great to you? Think about it and hold that in your mind for a little bit. Why do they stand out now? Why do they build brands? How do they separate themselves from competitors? And all those logos have competitors. They have competition. And sometimes it might not even be direct competition. It might not be another religion. It might be distraction. But what do they mean? Here's the truth about logo design. First, most businesses spend way too much time on the logo. And time is money. Whether you're spending $50 or $100 or putting on a logo competition, most of you are spending way too much time on the actual design of your logo. I get into this all the time. I've got clients, multiple clients right now. So if you think I'm talking to you, I'm probably talking about you and 10 other clients that are trapped somewhere because they're spending way too much time on their logo that unfortunately most people will not remember. Almost no one will remember your logo unless you're a huge corporation. I could show you multiple versions of our logo, and you probably wouldn't be able to tell me which one is the right one. I don't know. But you get so focused on it. Why? Why do we get so focused on it? Because we tie logo design with these other great logos that I just showed you. But we have so much coming at us, and your customers, your clients have so much coming at them right now that they are not going to remember your logo because there's so much other information coming from everywhere else. There's this Facebook Live and Watching with Ian. There's, I'm going to watch 5 Facebook Lives today. There's House of Cards I'm going to watch. There's all this. And even in all those, there's logos. There's logos. There's logos everywhere we go. Everywhere we go. Unless you're spending millions upon millions of dollars, most people are not going to remember your logo. While there should be branding, most people are not going to remember your logo. So what are you going to do? Remember this. Branding is for cattle. People buy stories. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't concentrate on colors and be consistent in colors. That's not what this is saying. It's that you should be thinking about the stories that people associate with your logo. And this is the main reason I'm talking about this, because I see people spending inordinate amounts of time and effort and meetings and on their logo that people won't remember unless you're tying a story to it and tying lots and lots of stories to it. Now, an important thing to know is, who actually said this? It's paraphrased from Roy Disney Jr. He was at a shareholders meeting, and it's a great story where he got up and he was so frustrated with all this talk around branding, around the Disney brand, that he talked about stories. And if you go back and you see me, I was live at Avatar, at the new Avatar theme park. I did a Facebook Live there, I think on Thursday or Friday. It was really hot. But here's the thing. Everyone that's there, when they see that logo, they tied it to a story. So I want you to go back and think about what made you think of those logos were great. And I bet you were thinking of a story of some encounter with Disney and some encounter with the cross, a story of the Olympics. I bet you when you saw that Olympics logo, a story came in mind. It might have been the story of the conflict. And I mean, for me, I think of the decathlons. I think of Mary Lou Retton. I think of Michael Phelps. I bet you a lot of you thought of Michael Phelps when you saw that logo. And you thought the story of Michael Phelps, right? So you were thinking about these things. And it's the stories that are connected. You probably thought the Olympic theme song. But it's a Pavlovian response because we're connecting the story to this image. And boom, great Olympic event. There's the story, there's the music. Now, there is some say in music and how it works, and there's all the music theory. And there is color theory in logos, and there is design theory in logos. But for the most people part, it's the stories that we tie to the logo. It's the stories we tie to the logo. So why are you concentrating so much time on that and not telling stories to people so they connect it to your logo? Why? Because it's easier. It's easier to go to and talk about logo design and really talk about going forward with colors and spending time on a design and imagery. But it's the stories that really, really matter. Really, really matter. And people will start to build an image around your logo in their brain. It'll bring out the emotion because we remember stories. Stories trigger emotion. Stories set us apart. So why? Why is the association with the story so important? And why aren't we doing it? Because we're not collecting an arsenal of stories. You have to collect an arsenal of stories. You should have a ton of stories that you are around your brand. Because different stories are going to trigger different times and different feelings for different people. There's stories that lay dormant forever and then all of a sudden are super, super important to our world. There's tons of those stories out there. I think even a great little side note is The Princess Bride. That movie did not do well because of how it was placed, because of timing. But when on the advent of the VCR, advent of people being able to watch it over and over and share it with their friends, that story became different and it was able to spread. But you have to have that arsenal of stories. I mean, look at what Netflix has done. We were going through Netflix the other day, and there's tons and tons and tons of programming. It's almost overwhelming, right? But they're all different stories for different people at different times. The story I'm going to watch when my son Max is around is different than the story we're going to watch at 9 o'clock at night when he's asleep. It's different from the story I'm going to watch in the morning. And that's the same thing with your customers. They need to hear different stories at different times, and you have to have an arsenal of these stories. But it's a lot easier for most people to spend a day in a meeting about logos instead of collecting and crafting their stories and developing an arsenal of stories. But you have to do this. And you should be, I mean, now with video, now with the internet, now with everything we can do, you can create so much content for your website with the stories of your business and set yourself apart. So what we're going to do, we've got 9 systems that we use to collect stories, and we help people craft those stories, but we'll comment Arsenal below, and we'll send you the 9 ways to collect your business stories, to develop that arsenal of stories. You know, one of the things that I always did when I was out selling is I always had a lot of stories ready. I knew the stories that I was going to tell. If a certain objection came up, if a certain problem came up, and you can do the same thing with your website. So people can peruse and find the story that they want to hear right then, right now. That's going to help them out. So just comment below. We'll send you the 9 systems, and we'll get going. So that blanked out. Ignore that. And if you have any questions about how to collect stories, how to use the stories in conjunction with your logo, or if you have some questions about logo design, put them down below. We'll have Jessica or Corey, our art director, answer them. But if you really aren't serious about branding, really serious about setting yourself apart, about being remembered, it's the stories. Thanks for listening. Future episodes, we got a lot of cool stuff coming up. I was on a cool inbound sales thing today from HubSpot, and how people are using video in their sales process, not just marketing, but actual sales process. And something I did for a long time, and I just thought was natural. But we'll talk about that in future episodes. We've got a lot of cool stuff, how to craft the stories, how to really be using the tools out there. And if you have any specific topics, any specific things that you want me to talk about, please let me know. And we'll do some video FAQs as well. Thanks a lot for listening. It's Ian Garlic. And if you want to hear this again, make sure to go over to my podcast at the Garlic Marketing Show. And this will be on there along with some awesome interviews.